What's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with a preview for the WGC Dell Technologies. This is the match play event. This is going to be awesome. We have a DFS contest for this non-traditional event where there's all new scoring. We've got bracket style events. It's match play instead of stroke play. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to throw the handbook out the window this week because of the new scoring system, different strategies based on how the bracket is actually set up. You know, this is the type of week that I actually think benefits players like you and I a lot, who are flexible, who are able to adapt. This week is more like putting together a puzzle, and Rick about to do some puzzling. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. Here's my cheat sheet for this week. Now, the data provider that I use it separates out the match play event from the rest of the events on tour. So I don't have a lot of great course stats or anything like that for the match play, but we're going to go a completely different route here. This is going to be like nothing you've ever seen before on this channel. I'm going to show you some just handmade things I threw together for this week. So before we start, let's talk about what the actual scoring changes are. So remember, it's match play. So there's 64 players. They are in a bracket style. So they're in groups of 4. So there are 16 groups of 4. Actually, I can show you the groups here. I made a little makeshift bracket. So you can see that they're in groups of 4. They're going to play round robin. So everyone is going to play each other player in their group. So you're guaranteed three rounds, barring some withdrawal. And then the winner of the group is going to move on to the round of 16. And then after that, it's going to be sudden death, single elimination style until we get down to a champion. A couple of things to note here. It starts Wednesday. I'm recording this Monday night. The bracket just came out. I just watched the show. Don't forget this starts on Wednesday. Okay, that's going to screw a lot of people up. It's going to go through Sunday. So I think it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You play everyone in your group, and then you play the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 on Saturday. So 36 holes on Saturday, and then the Final Four and the championship, along with the consolation bracket or the consolation round on Sunday. All right, so that's how this works. The scoring is different. So we're not looking for birdies. We're not looking for bogeys. None of that. It's all about holes won, holes lost, holes halved, as you can see here. There's a holes not played. I don't want to call it a bonus. It's the scoring here. So if I win 4-2, which means I'm 4 up with 2 to go, I'm going to get 3.2 extra points for those 2 holes that I did not play. Those only get assigned to the winning player, which makes sense. That way, if you don't get blown out, 10 holes in, the losing player does not get credit for the holes that were not played. They only go to the winning player. Matches won is a pretty sizable bonus, the 5-point bonus. Matches halved is 2 points. And then there are 2 kind of streaks or bonuses here. So if you win 3 straight holes, you get a 5-point bonus. And then if you do not lose a hole in a match, it's 7.5 points. Let me see if there's anything here. Okay, so if someone withdraws, the winning golfer receives the holes not played bonus for all remaining holes. So I wonder if someone withdraws before a match, will they give you 10 holes worth of holes not played, or will they give you 18? I'm not sure about that. I guess it would just be, I don't know actually. So in the event of a withdrawal, the winning golfer will receive holes not played bonus for all remaining holes in the match. Well, if the match hasn't started yet, I don't know if that gives you 10 to get you to a win or 18. I hope we don't find out, but I'm not sure. And then when you get into the round of 16, playoff holes are going to count, and then the consolation match is going to count. All right. So that's the scoring. Let's talk about strategy and the bracket here, and we can talk about some of the players that I think are most interesting. This is a really, really interesting event. When you get into match play, a lot of weird stuff can happen. A lot of guys aren't cut out for match play. quite honestly. I would tend to not assume that the best player in the group is going to get through each time. For example, I just looked back at last year, so just one sample size. 5 of the 16 groups, the highest seeded player made it through. That's it. So in 11 of 16 groups, the favorite did not win the group. So these are pretty volatile. With that being said, I'm almost throwing. Okay, if I play 150 lineups in the there's a $5. It's 100,000 the first. It's really, really top heavy. If I was playing 150 lineups in there, a lot of them I would be completely disregarding my salary. I don't think you need to spend it all. What I would be more interested in is getting guys who are not going to play each other until as late as possible. So I think the best strategy, I can get out of the way here. I think the best strategy would be start your lineups with one guy from each one of these, I'll call them regions, right? So essentially, if you hit the nuts, they could all go to the Final Four. I don't know if that's the best strategy. I think on paper it is, just because it's the highest upside. Those guys, won't meet each other, but you're still going to have to roster 2 more guys. So you would then want to roster. So if I take DJ out of this group, I don't want to take someone out of group 16 because they're going to run into each other too soon. So I would want to take someone out of group 1 and then someone out of your group either 8 or 9. So that's the strategy that I'm probably going to employ. So I will pick 4 guys from each one of these regions first, and then I will find 2 additional players as far away from the guys that I've chosen as possible. I won't pick them from their neighboring group. I believe that's the way to go. These stats that I have here are just a little interesting. So let me give credit where credit's due. So these percentages are match play winning percentages for basically everything that we have. So Adam Sarson, I have no idea who this is. I stumbled upon this on Twitter. AdamSarson.com. Looks like he compiled the match play records for everyone in the field for, like, if they've played the match play before, President's Cup, Ryder Cup, and I don't know what he considers other. If you read this, it's probably in here. Here we go. The Euro Tour has an event, Eurasia Tour, some other match play events. Okay, so that's what he's referencing. So that's the winning percentage that you see here. I just copied and pasted and threw it into a spreadsheet, just so I had a handy tool of percentages, and then I threw their salaries in here as well. Okay, so if we want to talk a little bit about players, so DJ won it last year. I think he's going to be a great option, obviously. This Kuchar group, I'm really liking Zach Johnson. So if we do go to the spreadsheet here, we are able to see some interesting items as far as recent form. I'd obviously prefer guys who are coming in better form, and Zach Johnson kind of fits that mold, right? Like, even since the start of the swing season, racking up top 25s, much better value than his peers to win this, according to Vegas. So him coming out at $6,800 against, who is it? Oh, Fisher, who actually won his group last year, but Yuta Ikeda, I believe is how you pronounce it, and then Matt Kuchar. That's a pretty weak group, I should say. So here's Kuchar, who has not really played that well coming into this event. That might be an opportunity to grab Zach Johnson at $6,800. He's the D player, so he's the lowest ranked player in this pod, I believe. And $6,800 is a really good price. So if you notice the pricing, so each group is anchored by one player. They're the top 16 players in the world. Their prices are all very high. And then basically everyone else in the group is like $7,500 or lower for the most part. Okay. I thought there was a couple other interesting groups, like Jason, not Jason Day. Who am I looking for here? Where's John Rahm? I might be in the way. John Rahm, we saw him make a run he finished runner-up last year. He would be my pick to win it again this year. Or not again this year. He would be my pick to win it. I think he is the perfect mindset for a match play type of guy where he just bears down and will try to absolutely destroy you at any cost. That's a very good quality to have in something like match play. It's a killer instinct that not every one of these guys has. Like Sergio, for example, I'm a little worried about Sergio. Like, if you want to play, like, he just had the baby card. Like, he just had a baby. Like, I don't know how engaged he's going to be in this event. You know, he has a lot of match play experience, but there's a couple of guys like Sharma here. He's played really well around the world in the last few weeks. Like, he might be a sneaky option to come out of this group. Other than that, let me see. I thought there was a couple other guys I did want to point out here. Some of them are more interesting than others. I think Phil's really interesting. I liked Cabrera Bello a lot, just because he has a ton of match play experience. I liked him a lot. Unfortunately, he got paired up with Phil. So I'm kind of 50-50 on either one of those two guys. I like them both. Unfortunately, they're in the same group. Remember that Rory, I think he got like 0-3 last year. Now he's obviously coming off a win, but did not show up in match play last year. And then Paul Casey. Okay, so Paul Casey's interesting. Paul Casey has a ton, and I guess I can show you this, I guess. Sorry, let me get to this real quick. Show you the match play records. Actually, I guess I'll just do it here. It's probably easier. Paul Casey has a ton of match play experience. So 23-13 in the WGC events, and then he's obviously played, he's 9-10 in what they consider other, which I guess is this the Euro Tour match play and some of these older ones. So he's one of these guys that has the most experience in this type of format, and he's playing well coming into this. Let's see if I can find Paul Casey. Yeah, 20-1 to win this. 20-1 at $8,800 is a really good price, and we can actually go through this right now. We can go through the odds. So here you go. Rory and DJ, same odds to win it. Rory's $1,800 cheaper. Jason Day, another one of these guys where you just wonder where that killer instinct's at some days. But Vegas would say that's a really good price on him DFS wise. Paul Casey seems like a good value. Oh, I didn't even talk about Patrick Reed. I'm terribly sorry. Okay, Patrick Reed is he's in Jordan Spieth's group. Where are these guys? Oh, they're down here at the bottom left. The Jordan Spieth Patrick Reed group is going to be awesome. I think everyone and their mom is going to pay up for Patrick Reed, and I don't think it's wrong. He's playing better than Jordan Spieth right now. You know what type of match play player he is. He gets up for this type of event. I'm hoping that it's just an absolutely killer, a killer group, and especially when those two go at it. And you know, if one of those two doesn't win this group, I'd be very shocked. But I think everyone's going to take the $3,000 discount on Patrick Reed, and I don't think that that's incorrect. And then who else was? Oh, sorry, I was over here. Who else might be under? So yeah, that is just an egregious price on Patrick Reed. He's 30-1 to win this thing. I think Cantlay is a good play as well. And then let's talk about kind of the road here. Let's like the path to the finals, right? So DJ and Rahm wouldn't face each other until the finals. Reed has a pretty good path here. So this isn't necessarily the toughest group 13. So if Reed got out of, or whoever gets out of group 4 has a pretty good shot in the Sweet 16. And then there's really not anyone that strikes me as like too terrible out of 5 or 12. Like Matsuyama's great. But again, we've seen him show up small so many times. You know, I wonder if just whoever wins group 4, if they're not just like have a pretty clear path to get to the final 4 here. That can't be said for all of these. Like Rahm, I think, has a much tougher path because he has to go through, assuming he gets out, he has to go through probably either Phil or Cabrera Bello, which is tough. Then on the other side of this, you have Leishman and Watson, who are both playing pretty well right now. They're great players. Then you have the Rory group. So with Brian Harmon, who I'm a big fan of. So like that, this is almost like the gauntlet corner over here. So if I'm picking my 2 extra guys, I'm not sure I want to go through the bottom right, if you want to call it that. That seems very, very difficult. Bottom left seems like the easiest path. I'm just trying to look around here. Top right with JT in a pretty soft group. Yeah, man, JT might walk to the Final Four. Molinari, Kazire, Luke List. Then they'd meet Perez, Woodland, Simpson, Siwoo Kim. Man, JT that's a pretty good draw, I think. I like Casey a lot. Sergio, who I guess you're kind of up in the air on if you want to play the narrative game. JT might be a really clean path to the finals here. So I have the odds. The odds that I pulled were before this event, before the bracket came out. I wonder if they'll change now that we have the path here. I think they should. We'll see, right? I mean, Spieth actually might get worse odds because now he has to go. Or I'm sorry, Reed might get worse odds now that he has to go through Spieth. And then top left here, Louis, awesome match play player, but he's in the group with Jason Day. Zach Johnson I like a lot. Tommy Fleetwood and Berger. I mean, that's an okay one. I still think bottom left is the easiest path, or I guess I should say group 4 winner probably has the easiest path, and then JT looks like he has a pretty good path there too. Rahm with the really crappy draw. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I could probably talk about this for another hour. I'm so stoked to hear what you guys are going to do here. Which of these groups do you think is the softest? Which one is the most difficult? Who are you picking to win this? I'm going to include this spreadsheet, a link to this spreadsheet in the description of this video, just as an additional tool for you guys this week. Let me know who you're playing. Let me know if you have any questions. If we can figure some more stuff out here, tweet me. It's @DFS on demand, or leave a comment below. Talk to you guys soon. See ya.